guys, this is me now. I'm coming to you with a brand new episode of Why I Love This Card. And this week it's Reasoning. Now this card has been pretty hyped up recently, specifically because of YCS Dallas. If you guys don't know what happened, an Inferno deck went insane in that whole tournament. It went undefeated the entire time and won. It was absolutely ridiculous. And honestly, it jacked up so many prices for Infernoids. It's insane. Decatron, for example, went from $5 to $8. So right there, you know that like it got it got a huge popularity boost. But I'm not here to talk about Infernoids. I'm talking about Reasoning. So if you don't know what this card does, it's an older card, and basically what it does is your opponent declares a monster level. Then you keep picking up cards off the top of your deck until you hit a monster that can be normal summoned. Now Infernoids benefit off of this because they get sent to the grave, as I'm gonna. They can't be normal summons, so they get just sent straight to grave. So you get that extra little. You get things engraved for them to banish. So they can summon themselves. So that's very important for them. But anyway, moving on. If that monster is the same level as the one declared, send all of them to the graveyard, including that monster. However, if not, special summon the picked up monster and send the remaining cards to the graveyard. Reasoning is a great card for mill decks, and that's with the exception being Lightsworn, and I'll get to why Lightsworn is the exception. Reasoning is really great because one, it helps win conditions. If decks like the Grave, they typically like Reasoning, especially if their cards vary in level. Lightsworns don't like this card simply because one, a lot of their cards are level 4 or level 3. If you guess it right, they're screwed and they don't get the advantage. And if you call Wolf, if you go level 4 and they pick up a Wolf, they can't do anything. So yeah. So anyway, oh no, yeah, never mind. If you call it incorrectly and they pick up a Wolf, then it's not good. So but yeah, Reasoning, great card. Is a great card outside of them. Plus Lightsworn's mill a lot, so Reasoning isn't really necessary for them. Anyway, let's see how this card compares to meta. I've already gone over Infernoids and how this is so useful for them, along with cards like Monster Gate that can just consistently mill cards to the grave so that they can just use so that they then have materials to special summon themselves. Another great deck that actually use this, coincidentally, is UAs. I love UAs, as you guys know. UAs are my bread and butter. I know how to use. I wouldn't say like I'm perfect with them, but like I love them a lot and I know how to use them. But Reasoning, recently a friend of mine actually put together a deck with Reasoning, and it didn't ever occur to me to use Reasoning index, just simply because UAs have all different levels. Unless you call it correctly, your opponent is gonna get a UA monster on the field and that's not good for you. They need monster on the field. They need an established field as fast as possible. So they don't care if cards go to the grave necessarily, as long as they can establish a monster on the field. And because they only have one level 4 in the entire deck, typically they don't have a lot of low-level monsters. If they do, it's usually Spell Striker or just UA midfielder, and that's about it. They'll throw in something like a Assault Halberd. But other than that, it's like Slugger and Slugger and above, like all level 5s to level 8s. So Reasoning is a great card for them. Next deck is Perform Age. Now this might be a little odd. I'll explain this to you really quick. The reason why this is great in Perform Age is because it doesn't matter if your opponent calls it right or wrong, as long as you hit a Trick Clown or a Damage Juggler. And why? And like or maybe even a what's his face? Thousand Blades. Yeah. So if your opponent calls level 4 and they know you're playing Perform Ages or Clown Blade and they hit one of those cards that you want them to hit, ooh, it's so great. So and either way, if they call it wrong, you get a level 4 on the field. If they purposely call it wrong because they think that you are going to land a level 4 no matter what, which you should because it's a rank 4 spam deck, but they don't think that they think that you're going to get a Trick Clown or a Damage Juggler engraved, yeah, they're gonna be they might think reverse and be like, okay, if I call it wrong on purpose, they don't get that effect engraved, but it actually hurts them more because then you can use Trick Clown twice, if you, for example, or that you just get a level 4 on field and then you can just easily normal summon an overlay. So it's a great card for Clown Blade. Next deck, Despots. Despots love being special summoned, especially number 2. Plus, they have, including if you include the OCG cards, they have levels varying from level 1 to level 8. It's almost as big as a range as Infernoids, so they can easily benefit off of this card. The last thing I want to discuss is Dragon Rules. Now, these cards, because we're thinking it's possible, a lot of people are thinking that Dragon Rulers could come off the ban list, probably at 1 if they do. I'm not saying they will, but this card could be used in them. The majority of the deck is level 7s and level 4s, and it doesn't matter if they're in the grave. If they're in the grave, if Blaster or any other the Big Daddy Dragon Rulers get sent to the grave, you can special summon them anyway. If one of the babies gets sent to the grave, great. You have fodder to special summon a Dragon Ruler from your hand. It doesn't matter for Dragon Rulers. So if they call 4 or 7, doesn't matter. If they call any other level, doesn't matter. So, and then if they call it wrong, you get a level 4 or a level 7, you can easily overlay into something else. So it's not a big deal if they mill it. It's not a big deal if they get it, if they don't call it right. So if Dragon Rulers ever come back, Reasoning is a great card for them. So thank you guys for watching this episode of Why I Love This Card. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a nice day.